Ever seen a person sliding down the streets with their hands in their flip-flops and no legs? Well, I have. Living abroad, especially in Africa, changed me. I lived there for 8 out of my 13 years. My dad's job moved us to 4 different countries in Central, Eastern, and Southern Africa. In my younger years, I didn't really understand what was going on around me. For all I knew, Africa was just like America. I started noticing in 3rd grade living in Rwanda, but it was more of a think about it for 5 minutes type of thing. It wasn't until I moved to Mozambique at the beginning of 5th grade that I understood all the poverty and famine going on around me. When I first moved to Maputo, Mozambique, I was really nervous and scared to start school. Moving as an infant, nobody cares about the cool kids or the new kids. Everyone's the same and everyone is friends with everyone. On the drive to my new house, I saw many things I didn't notice when I was younger. People walking down the streets in torn up clothes, children with very large bellies, which I later found out was due to malnourishment. People with a look of sadness and longing to be in the car in my place. When I opened the door to my new classroom of my outdoor school, I was welcomed with a chorus of "Hi's" and "OMG, it's the new girls." I was welcomed by everyone except 3 girls in the back. They glared at me and I was so confused as to why. I didn't look good or anything. I was wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. As time went on, one of those girls got bit by a vicious Rottweiler and needed surgery. Me and that girl became best friends. The others, however, were still distant. They were the type of girls who added someone to their inner circle just to take them out again. Later that day, we were put in the same group, in music, and just like that, I was added to the inner circle. Months passed, and I spent less time with my old friends and more time with the new ones. I finally recognized who the main girl in this group was. It took some time, but I soon realized just how cruel she was. She had done unusual things to me, but instead I chose to ignore it. Even though I hadn't done anything to anyone, it was knowing who was an influential person in my life was all they needed to shut me out. Her friends had a conversation with her, and we told her we'd stop being her friend if she kept acting the way she did. It was kind of like a generic movie type of mean girl. Everyone wants to be her friend, but everyone's secretly afraid of her. This negative friendship made me realize that if someone is giving you a hard time, you have no obligation to let this person remain in your life. A negative presence is so draining. It makes life a pain. I learned that the hard way, but I'm really glad I did. School was difficult, but one amazing thing came out of it. An experience I will never forget. Twice a month, a few students and teachers traveled to a more rural area of Maputo to visit some kids. These infants, most of which were extremely young, were the product of prostitution, children of mothers who could not care for them. Project Purpose was started by a woman who had a vision of making life somewhat easier for these children. Seeing what they had, dark rooms with thin mattresses on the floor and a humongous hole in the ground as a toilet, gave us the drive to help. These kids had nothing, and they didn't deserve what they were getting. We built them a new home with beautiful painted walls, bunk beds, a living room, and a working toilet. A big garden with the kids helped us plant. The best part of it all was when we brought them Christmas gifts. The overjoyed look on this little girl's face when I handed her her new Barbie doll made me realize just how extremely lucky I was, how extremely lucky we all are. We have the life this girl with a new Barbie would give anything for. A life where a Barbie is just another toy in your toy box, where a flushing toilet isn't unfamiliar to you. Even though I couldn't give her much, the look of happiness on her face was enough for me. Knowing that I helped kids have a better life is a feeling I will never forget, and I hope I never do. I was only in Maputo for 2 years. My time spent there was definitely filled with mixed emotions, a roller coaster of emotions. There were low points and high points, and times where I felt like I was going in loop-de-loops. The drive to the airport was a long one, thinking of all that had happened in 2 short years. There may have been some bad moments, but leaving felt wrong. Sometimes it still does. I feel like this is a dream and I'm going to wake up in my room in Africa. I miss the people. I miss the tiny bus that would take me to school. I miss my dog. I miss my old friends. I miss the wonderful culture. I miss the food. And I miss being able to see the Indian Ocean from my bedroom window. My time there was a good one. It taught me many lessons I will never forget. Lessons that changed the little fifth grader into who I am now.